MPs were once again discussing the EU Withdrawal Bill in the House of Commons, when Ms Cherry argued Scotland's voters weren't being respected by the government in Brexit negations, having voted 62% in favour of Remain. The MP for Edinburgh South West added, the wilful ignoring of the will of the Scottish people, for me, Mr Speaker, highlights a democratic deficit at the heart of the United Kingdom. It's why I and others on these benches would like to see an independent Scotland, but the irony is that those who pushed so strongly for Brexit were complaining about a democratic deficit in the European Union. PAL TV Brexit News. John Redwood tells the SNP to respect Brexit, just like if the Scottish people had voted to leave, we would have accepted the verdict. John Redwood: I know so many of them held that view sincerely, but they seem not to care a jot for the democratic deficit in this union, the United Kingdom. Mr Redwood, Conservative MP for Wokingham, signalled Ms Cherry and other Scottish Remoaners to end the complaints by insisting the UK would have respected the referendum result if Scotland had opted to leave the UK in September 2014. Speaking almost an hour after Ms Cherry ended up own speech to MPs in the Commons, Mr Redwood pointed out the 2014 ballot. The Brexiteer said she has to accept, just like if the Scottish people had voted to leave, we would have accepted the verdict and got on with it against our wishes. So now the United Kingdom people have voted, the whole union has to accept the democratic judgment. Ms Cherry argued the Scottish vote was in fact binding after David E. Cameron and then First Minister Alex Salmond had signed the Edinburgh Agreement, which legalised the referendum. The Scottish MP also suggested Mr Redwood believed the views of the Scottish people can be blithely ignored on all occasions, because of the outcome of the Scottish independence referendum. She added, I'm sure Scottish voters watching on television would love to know if that is what he is saying. Friday, December 8, 2017. Here is the 15-page Brexit deal in full. Mr Redwood concluded, absolutely not. Scottish voters' views matter very much, and they have a privileged constitutional position we are all happy with. So in many areas, Scotland makes her own decisions through her own parliament, but when it comes to a union matter, I thought we all agreed that where we had a union-wide referendum, the union made the decision and the union parliament needs to implement the wishes of the referendum.